Hello, you're watching West Bloomfield 911. I'm Officer Rick, and on behalf of Chief Mike Patton and my brothers and sisters in the West Bloomfield Police Department, welcome to the show. We have a very exciting guest today, someone I've met recently, and she has a great sense of humor, so I'm very excited to have her on. I would like to introduce Lisa Villela, founder of Mimi's Mission. Lisa, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Good. Now, Lisa, we talked a little bit before we got started. Don't run away. I know they kept shoving you away from me, but don't run away. We're going to do a segment we call the Corner Spotlight, where we highlight an employee of the West Bloomfield Police Department. Okay?
Alrighty.
Folks, if you'll look on the screen, you will see the smiling countenance of Reverend Dr. Paul H. Thwaite. Now, Paul is the newest chaplain of the police department. He's not really an employee. He volunteers his services to be a spiritual leader to the folks in West Bloomfield. And he was brought on in January 1st of 2015. Now, even though he's relatively new as our chaplain, Paul's been around a while as a cleric, and he's also the pastor of Orchard Lake Community Church Presbyterian in the village of Orchard Lake. Paul has served as a pastor for 31 years, so he's not new to the job. He's been around the block a few times, and he's quite a guy, and we're glad to have him. Paul's favorite food is steak. And if you ever met Paul, he's quite a big man, and I think it's all that red meat over the years that made him huge, and I'm glad that he's a cleric because I would not want to tangle with him if he got mad. He's a big guy. His favorite book, not surprisingly, one of them is the Bible, and he also loves history books, so Paul and I, we could sit and read together in a library and both enjoy the same thing. His favorite movie, though, when he told me, he said, you know, this one is kind of rough around the edges. And it is, but it is a good movie, good story. Shawshank Redemption, the 1994 drama starring Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman. And I got to tell you, I think almost anything Morgan Freeman is in becomes good just because he's in it. The guy's got a classic voice. His favorite music, classical and Christian pop. And when I asked him about some of his hobbies and things that he's particularly fond of, and things he likes to do, he told me that he attends the Indianapolis 500 every year. I've never been there, so one day, Paul, you're going to have to take me with you. He's been in all 50 states, though he hasn't necessarily visited each state as a vacation spot. He's traveled or been through each of the 50 states and in these great country of ours. And one thing that I found very fascinating, and we will show it on a show when Paul comes on as a guest, one thing he's particularly proud of. His mother was painted by Norman Rockwell at 13 years of age, and that painting made the cover of the Saturday Evening Post on February 19th, 1938. And don't leave us and quit watching the show because you'll be able to see that when Paul comes on. His favorite quote, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as serving the Lord. And that's from St. Paul's letter to Colossians chapter 3, verse 23. So Paul, we thank you for being the chaplain in the police department. We thank you for all you do. We appreciate your service, and that you have some big shoulders for us to lean on when we need it. Folks, we're going to turn the corner spotlight off, and we are going to talk a little bit about a law enforcement tip of the day. Folks, I'm getting a lot of calls at the police department about people that are claiming to be from the IRS. Now, the way the phones are set up digitally nowadays, people can use phone cards, they can manipulate it so it looks like they're calling from Detroit. They can make it look like they're calling from Washington, D.C., when in fact they may be calling from the other side of the world. We're getting these calls quite frequently from people saying they are the IRS and they want your information. My suggestion to you is do not give any information to anyone you don't know that's been unsolicited. If you've called the business or the entity and you know who they are and they're asking for information, that's one thing. But when someone calls you out of the blue, don't provide anything to them. In fact, my suggestion is not even to answer those calls. If a call comes in unknown or a number you don't recognize, a name you don't recognize, let it go to voicemail. If it's a friend, they'll leave a message, you can call them back. We're not going to eliminate this thing, it's just going to get worse. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg, but we can reduce our contact with these folks. They want to get your personal ID so that at some point along the way, someone uses it and makes your life miserable. To learn more, you can go to the West Bloomfield Police Facebook. We have a link there to the site put on by the Attorney General for more information, but please do not heed those calls. The IRS, the West Bloomfield Police, your bank, your credit union, no one is going to call you by phone and ask for personal information. Folks, we are going to come right back with Lisa Villela, founder of Mimi's Mission, so don't go away.
You're watching West Bloomfield 911 on Civic Center TV, a service of the Greater West Bloomfield Cable Communications Commission. For more information or to watch episodes on demand, visit civiccentertv.com/WB911. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
The West Bloomfield Police Foundation raises money to help those who protect and serve the community. Whether it's emotional or financial support, the foundation provides a helping hand to officers, their families, and those in the community. For more information on the West Bloomfield Police Foundation, contact Kurt Lawson at 248-975-8900 or visit wbpolicefoundation.org.
Hello, we're back. We have a very interesting guest, Ms. Lisa Villela, founder of Mimi's Mission. Lisa, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Rick.
You know, I first heard about your organization. I got a hold of a regional paper, a downriver paper, and they did an interview with you, and I thought it was rather interesting because it dealt with something that's kind of a hot button issue nowadays, human trafficking.
Correct.
Talk a little bit about Mimi's Mission, how you got started in it, because I know it's not your occupation, it's more your vocation.
It is.
So let's talk a little bit about it. What got you started in it? Because you told me an interesting story, how you became interested in that sort of thing.
Right. I had first started in the Trenton Seroptimists, and they do a lot with awareness of human trafficking. During my stay with them, I remember reading an article where a woman said, 2 men picked me up from behind, lifted me up, set me inside of a tote and put the tub on, and no one heard me scream. And it sent chills through my body. Probably about a year later, I was out shopping with my daughter at a mom-to-mom sale, and we needed change for a $100 bill. We ran to a local party store. The party store looked new. We were the only people there. My daughter ran in to make change, and while she was in the store, I was sitting in the truck in front of the window. And the party store owner or employee came to the front of the window, was staring at me through the front windows, talking on the phone. After about a minute, I thought it was a very odd thing to do, because he never waved, he never acknowledged me, he just stared straight through me. 30 seconds later, a little car came through the parking lot, blacked out windows, going probably 60 miles an hour, went around the back of the store. And for some odd reason, it just clicked in me that I thought, they're going to take my daughter.
Okay, so needless to say, you didn't just sit there
I did not
helpless
sit there.
and
I did
worry.
not.
You actually kind of took matters in your own hands.
I did.
What happened next?
I took my phone and my keys, and I entered the store. Actually, I pretty much kicked the front door in just to make a presence. My daughter looked at me from the front counter and said, "Mom?" I said, "Oh, I forgot to tell you to get gum." I went to the gum counter, looked in the back of the store. The back door of the store was completely black. You couldn't see anything through it, which I thought was very odd, because you can always see in the back of the stores. And I could just feel someone back there. We paid and we left. My daughter thought I was insane. Everybody thought I was insane, my whole family. Through the Seroptimist, I did meet a local police officer who works a lot with human trafficking in Melvindale. And I asked him for 5 minutes of his time to tell him my story, to see if I was really that insane. And he said, without a doubt, 98%, I saved my daughter's life that day.
Wow. No, that's fascinating. And of course, your daughter still thinks you're insane anyway.
Well, of course she does.
Because she's your daughter. It's
Of
right.
course.
My kids think
But
the same
she's
thing.
still here, so that's okay.
Right. That's right.
That's right.
Okay, so that event, those two events, the one woman talking about what had happened to her and what almost happened to your daughter.
Correct.
Kind of spurred you to get involved in human trafficking awareness.
Right.
But you actually had Mimi's Mission before that, correct? Or was that the start of it?
That was part of the start of Mimi's Mission,
Okay.
right.
Now tell me how you started this, because, well, first of all, we'll let the people know, this is now a 501c3.
It is a nonprofit.
And relatively new, but a nonprofit, so people can give you a tax-deductible donation.
They can.
Absolutely. And this started this whole program, but Mimi's mission kind of encompasses more than just human trafficking awareness. But first of all, let's focus. What do you do as far as making people aware of human trafficking in the Metro Detroit area?
We do a lot on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and we also run a local cyber awareness class through one of our great IT guys in a church in Wyandotte.
Okay.
And it's held the third Tuesday of every month.
Okay.
We're looking to, probably next month we'll grow, and we'll probably be in the Downriver campus of Wayne County Community College running it.
Okay, very good. Is that over on North Line Road there?
It is.
Okay, in Taylor.
In Taylor.
Okay, know exactly where it's at. And currently, though, you're working out of a local church down
We
there.
are.
Okay, and you also do other things besides give. How many people come to your awareness presentations, and how often do you do those?
They're held once a month.
Okay.
And it varies.
Okay.
Last month we had one person there.
Been there.
You just never know.
Right.
We're hoping once we move to the campus, the numbers will increase.
Now, do you advertise those events on your Facebook page?
We do.
Okay.
Yep.
And, well, since we're on it, why don't you give the folks your website address, so if they want to find out more about Mimi's mission, they can do that.
Sure. It's www.mimismission.com.
Okay, very good. And you also have a phone number?
I do. It's 844-HEY-MIMI.
And do you know the numbers to that? Or
I do not.
Okay, 844-HEY-MIMI. And that's M-I-M-I.
M-I-M-I.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, what else do you do through Mimi's mission?
We do.
Because I know it's all encompassing.
It is. There's not much we don't do. We have helped. Last week we assisted a homeless man through a hospital to get an apartment and fill the apartment with everything that he needs.
Wow.
We've helped abused women leave relationships and get them what they need. We do pack drives. We're right now holding a monthly drive. We do soaps, toilet papers, everything that people have a hardship getting their hands on.
Okay. And I noticed here, one of the first things you guys did 4 years or so ago, a friend of yours had asked you about helping a young man get clothes for his graduation. How did that come about?
That was social media. On Facebook, a friend of mine wrote me and said, we have a little boy who's graduating and he needs dress clothes.
This was high school graduation?
I believe it was junior high.
Oh, okay.
So he was younger, so he needed dress clothes. And I reached out on Facebook to see what we could find for him.
Okay.
Gently used clothes is a huge media for us.
Sure.
And we not only found him clothing, we found the entire family clothing.
Oh, okay.
And one of my friends on Facebook said, I need you to ask them where they want to go to dinner, because it's a normal practice when you graduate to go to dinner. And they responded that they like Applebee's. And he sent me $200 in gift cards for them.
Wow, that's good.
And at that point I realized these people don't even really know me, and yet they're willing to help.
Okay.
And Mimi's mission started evolving from there.
Okay.
And now it's through the roof.
Okay. Now, you have 3 grown children
I do.
and 3.5 grandchildren. Okay, expecting one shortly.
In May.
So, what is this is more than one person can handle, I would think. So, do you have and I'm sure you draft your husband when needed.
We do.
And do you have other people that are helping you part-time?
We have volunteers. We do. We run it out of my business, so it's very a well-oiled machine. Everything's hands-on right there, so we know what's there, we know our accounts, we know what we're in for. Christmas was a little challenging. We ended up helping over 1,700 people
No kidding.
at Christmas time, so that was that was a challenge, but we got through it. Yeah.
Well, and of course you are a businesswoman, so you're used to operating a business and being
Correct.
a focal point to get things together. You own your own insurance agency.
I do.
Downriver area, the land downriver, that many
The
people in
Downriver
Oakland
land.
County probably don't even know exists.
Right.
But good people down there.
They are.
And do you work a lot with local churches and other organizations?
We're working with other organizations. We just started a collaboration with the AmeriCorps, helping the vets.
Okay.
So we're doing a fundraiser March 2nd with them at the Texas Roadhouse in Taylor will receive 10% of whatever the night brings in.
Okay.
As long as you bring the flyer, and that's available on our website as well as our Facebook page.
Okay. Now, I don't know when this show will air, so that time period may have elapsed by then. But if anyone would like to find out what other future events you have,
It's all on the website.
good, good. Now, tell me, okay, Mimi, I need a little help. So, who do I call? Just call your phone number and
Call
say,
844-HEY-MIMI.
and say, hey, Mimi, I need some help.
Have a list of what your needs are.
Okay.
And then once we get that list, we reach out on social media. We have
Which is your Facebook
It is
page.
my Facebook page. There's a great site on Facebook. It's called Downriver and Friends. There's over 22,000 people on that website right now.
Wow.
And they respond to us like no tomorrow.
Yeah.
And yeah, people take care of people. They're just afraid to do it themselves.
Yeah.
So
Need a
we
little nudge.
Well, they do.
Yeah.
And it's just an ask.
Right.
But our response is great.
Well, I'm looking at your bio here. You told me about the young man that you helped get clothes for graduation. This Christmas, you said over 1,700 people were helped, and you help people to avoid the trappings of human trafficking. Now, this officer you talked about in Melvindale, have you put anything together with him? Do you guys work together through Mimi's mission?
No, not yet.
Okay, that might be something. Might be if that's something he can work with, you know, because it is a big thing nowadays, and especially when we have big events coming into the Detroit area, whether it like the Super Bowl a few years ago or the NCAA events, and that always seems to exacerbate those situations. So
Right.
we're glad there's organizations like you around to help bring that message out. And I noticed on your bio that you were nominated for the AAUW Woman of the Year Award. Now, what is, sounds like a branch of the UAW.
Right.
What is that?
It's the American Association of University Women.
Oh, okay.
And I actually got a call last week that I was chosen for the Women of the Year.
Very good. Excellent. Now, when will you find out the result? Oh, so you are going to be the Woman of the Year?
I am.
Okay, so not just nominated, you were voted
Correct.
the Woman of the Year. Would you sign this for me?
Right.
And is this a result of your work through Mimi's mission?
It is.
Okay, excellent. Now, tell me a little bit about your cyber safety classes. You hold those every Thursday. That is not just the human trafficking, but it has to do with cyber safety in general?
Correct. We encourage parents to bring their children and their devices with them.
Oh, excellent.
Because you have to learn how the device works to be able to protect your children.
Right.
As do your children.
Right.
One of the first classes we had a mom bring 2 girls with her, and they were pretty versed on what to do, what not to do. And throughout the course of the class, the mom kept saying, "I told you you shouldn't do that. I told you you shouldn't do that." Probably 3/4 of the way through the class, the little girl pulled up the phone and she was playing with the phone, and the mom looked over and said, "I thought I told you to get rid of that phone." And I'm like, "That's part of the problem. We're allowing our children to patrol themselves."
Right. Right.
And she was like, "Right."
Yeah.
But it was a great example because they had done everything else right. But that little one slip could have made the difference for her daughter.
Yeah.
Because we know with human trafficking, the ages 12 to 14, that's the big lure age. That's when predators will lure them out via the internet.
Sure. Sure. Now, when you do these classes, are you the primary speaker at these events? Do you bring in other people?
We have our Doug Pettigrew. He is our IT guy, and he runs the class.
Oh, okay.
I'm in the class. We participate. It's an open forum. If you have questions, you can stop us at any time.
Sure.
And it's all hands-on. Bring your devices. Bring your children.
And when you talk about human trafficking, do you bring your daughter in and talk about the event that you and her experienced?
I don't.
Okay.
No.
And you know that
I tell the event, but
yeah.
yeah,
Well, that's it's important because it's a first-hand experience.
it is.
And a lot of people always think, well, maybe that's somebody else, but not me.
Right.
You know.
And it's that close, and that's what people
Yeah.
aren't realizing. Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Now, tell me again, what is Sonia? Pack the pantry.
Pack
Someone wants to do that.
Alrighty.
What is that?
Pack the pantry. It is
Sounds like a rock band.
I know. It's a room we have at my office, my insurance agency. We took all the desks out and put shelves in. Every month we have a different ask, whether last month it was soaps, hand soap, dish soap, laundry soap. This month it's paper, toilet paper, Kleenex, paper towels. Next month will be laundry soap and dryer sheets. So every month we have a new ask, and we're filling this pantry for people who are in need to come and get these goods.
Okay. And is it always stuff like soaps, or do you go into canned goods, box goods for people that need food, or is it always stuff
We
like
have
that?
a little food, but there's so many pantries in the area
Yes.
and our space is very limited because we also run what we call Mimi's Locker. So we have 35 tubs of gently used clothing for children.
Okay.
So you can come and get clothes for your children if you need them.
Okay. Very good. And when people need help, do they come to you, or do you guys deliver those goods to them?
Depends on the situations.
Okay.
Mostly they come to us.
All right. And that would be to your business office?
My business office in Woodhaven.
Okay.
Yep.
And you also have worked with the food pantries in the area. So tell me what you guys do with them.
We just work in collaboration with them. If we have a person in need, all we have to do is call them and they'll help us out.
All right.
We work with Salvation Army, St. Vincent de Paul, the Information Center. So there's a lot of collaborations going on because they're bound by corporate rule and we're not.
Okay.
So we can get our hands on furniture and things that they just can't.
Okay. Now, if I'm another organization like St. Vincent de Paul, Salvation Army, a local church, and I have a food pantry, or we have our own little organization that helps distribute food, helps cook food for the homeless, whatever the case may be, maybe even help people find places to stay. Can I call you and say, Lisa, Miss Mimi, do you have any connections? Do you have any phone numbers for people I can contact?
Of course.
Okay, so you
Of course
also
you
have
can. We have organizations that bring us vouchers, so we can write people vouchers to go to their place to get goods.
Oh, okay. So you're not just giving money and maybe they're spending it on things that they don't really need.
No, no, we don't, and we don't have the means for that. Yeah, yeah. If we get donations, we'll help them in that capacity. We just today after this, actually, I will be going to Entenmann's and
bakery.
packing the expedition with breads and goods, and we'll take that to 3 vet shelters in Detroit, and we're distributing to 2 churches in the Downriver area as well as my office.
Now, when you say vet shelters, shelters for veterans? Okay.
Yep.
My daughter's going to be a veterinarian, so sometimes
Different.
when I hear vet shelters,
Different
yeah, right. It's a disconnect.
I don't think your daughter needs bread.
No,
Right.
no, not at all. She might need some money to help pay off her bills
Right.
for schooling, but that's a whole different story. Can you help me there?
No.
Oh, okay. We could have said we'll talk after
Right.
the show. Well, it sounds like you're doing some wonderful things,
you.
and especially helping our veterans and even people who are out of sorts. I don't think people realize that it really doesn't take long for most people to be in a position where they have a home, they have a job, they're meeting their bills, and then something bad happens, whether it be poor health, loss of a job, or the combination of the two,
Right.
and all of a sudden they're in need.
Right.
And it's great that there are organizations like yours. We have only just a few minutes left, so why don't you tell the folks again, give them the phone number that they can call, and your website address, and maybe give them a little pep talk to help donate and help support Mimi's mission and all the good work that you do.
Okay. We can be reached at 844-HEY-MIMI. I apologize, I don't know the numbers. I never call it. Our website is www.mimismission.com. There's many ways that anybody can donate, whether you have clothing, gently used clothing, bedding, beds, furniture, whether you want to make a monetary donation, whether you have time to donate. That's a big thing. It's really hard to run not only a business, but a nonprofit. I can't be everywhere at all times, so volunteers are key with us.
Right. And I hope that you've been getting some volunteers to help you out.
We have been.
Good.
Yeah, we have been.
Hands are always needed.
Always.
Well, now your
Yes.
husband must be a saint, owning your own business,
Did he pay you?
Absolutely.
Of course.
You don't think I'd do it for
Right.
free, do you? Men stick together.
I know. It's the golden rule.
Yeah, that's right. It's just like the women do.
That's right.
I assume your husband and your children have been very supportive and very helpful over
They
the years
have
with
been.
you as well.
They have been. Yes. When you run an organization like this, time is of the essence, and they have probably not gotten as much of my time as they deserve.
Yeah.
So thank them for being able to do this.
Yeah. Well, we thank you as well, because I've always believed that if you don't have to do everything, but if everybody did something, then we would be in a much better position as a people and as a community.
Right.
And the Downriver area is filled with good folks, but Mimi's mission goes beyond Downriver.
It does.
I mean, so anybody who wants to help, whether it be Wayne, Oakland, or Macomb County, you're not going to refuse donations and help from anybody.
I will not. We actually have gotten donations from New York last week, and
Oh,
I also got a
excellent.
call a couple of days ago from a woman who lives in Florida that wants to do a fundraiser for us.
Is that right?
So Mimi's mission is getting out there.
There you go. The mission is succeeding.
That's right.
Lisa, that's very, very commendable. We're very happy to see that things are going well. We're extremely proud of the work that you do.
Thank you.
And we thank you for all that you do for the people that are less fortunate than us. So don't go away. We would like to remember a great American hero that gave his life in the service of his community. Folks, if you look on the screen, you will see Correctional Officer Chad Charles of the Michigan Department of Corrections. Correctional Officer Charles died in the line of duty on May 21st, 2014. He suffered a fatal heart attack while participating in a quarterly training exercise with the agency's emergency response team out at Camp Grayling. So he wasn't just working as a correctional officer, he was going above and beyond doing some more hazardous duty for the state and for the people here in Michigan. He collapsed during a building clearing scenario. Members of the emergency response team performed CPR on him until he was transported to a local hospital where he passed away. So I ask you to remember this great American hero who served with the Michigan Department of Corrections for 9 years and was assigned to the Muskegon Correctional Facility. So please remember Correctional Officer Chad Charles, the men and women of the Michigan Department of Corrections, in your thoughts and in your prayers. And we say, brother, rest in peace. Your memory will not be forgotten. These guys have I tell you, they got a very underappreciated job, so we commend all of the DOC people for what they do. Lisa, we want to thank you once again
Thanks,
for
Rick.
coming on our show.
Appreciate the
Continued
opportunity.
success with Mimi's mission, and hopefully we'll run into each other again. And folks, Lisa keeps connected with people who need help through her organization, Mimi's Mission, and the West Bloomfield Police Department would like to keep connected with you. You can go to our Facebook page, like us on Facebook, as they say. We're now in the 21st century. We also have a Twitter account, and you can sign up for Nixle, where we will send you pertinent information that may affect you in your community where you live. And of course, we offer now crime mapping as well. So keep connected to the West Bloomfield Police Department. And folks, we would like you to stay connected to us here at West Bloomfield 911 by watching us on Civic Center TV, or you can watch us on demand at civiccentertv.com. My friends, take care of each other. Be safe. Love one another. Remember, tomorrow is promised to no one. I'm Officer Rick, and I'll see you again on West Bloomfield 911.